be fine, but minutes can go on for hours, and hours can go on for years, way past the candy and flowers, into the darkness of tears. Nothing but time. I just wanna holler, reach out my hands to the emptiness, and I cry to the night. But nothing and no one is gonna hear. But can go on forever, changing your hope into dust, waiting for a day to deliver what's in the dawn. Just time, just wanna reach out my hands to the emptiness, and I cry to the world. No one is gonna hear, but
listening to GHP Radio, powered by iTrackRadio.com, your independent music source. Fresh, new music, right here on the all-new GHP Radio, your new independent music source. live spot right here. We're streaming live on YouTube, of course, and we got a wonderful, great guest today. We're very excited about Mr. Sean Yu is here. Welcome, Sean. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, we just introduced one of the tracks off of the collection that you sent us. 60 Miles is what we entered into this conversation today. And we're going to play some more of the music here in just a little while. But welcome, man. Thanks for coming by, man, and hanging out with us today.
Yeah, no, thanks again for having me. It's great to meet you all and be with you all here today. And yeah, I'm excited to be on the show.
Awesome, man. Great. Now, and we know your stage name is Sean Yu. Now Yu is what that's part of your last name? Is that correct?
Yeah, part of my last name is my full last name is Julius, and I went with the U because I'm like, this is gonna be just too hard for people to spell, pronounce.
Right.
Yeah, I always think it's interesting because like you'll have these really long last names that are like 12, 13, 14 letters. I mean, mine's short, it's 6 letters, but it's still, there's all these funky things about the pronunciation of it. So
sure.
I like my last name a lot, but I'm like, I'm gonna go with you. We'll stick to you. That's the
butchers it.
yeah.
Like
Exactly.
I did last week. Sorry.
Yeah.
Now that you mention it, I can see where people would butcher it and you would get tired of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just I've been doing it my whole life with in school or whatever. They call out your name, and everybody has their own take on it. I mean, it's kind of interesting to hear all the different takes they're going to have on how to pronounce your name. But, but I
From saying I understand because my maiden name is Fontenot, and I really did get tired of it because the last the last letter is T, but it's silent. So that's why I said you do get tired of it. So I married a Spencer, and I've never had that problem since.
yeah, that one's easy. Yeah, well, like my name has a Z at the end, and actually you don't really pronounce the Z. It's just Julius. And then a lot of people don't know how to get the U part at the beginning. They're like, is it ooh? Is it you? Is it so? But I think too, if you're looking it up online and you just you're on Spotify or Apple Music or YouTube or whatever, you can just type in you. You don't have to try to figure out how you're going to spell it. So,
You thought it very well. Well, introduce yourself to the people in the chat room and the people listening outside the chat room. Who is Sean Yu?
Yeah, so thank you everybody who's out there and listening to the show. So yeah, I'm a keyboardist, and I've been doing this for a few while. I've been releasing my music out to radio and things like that for the last few years now, and I'm really excited because I have my latest single. It's Magic Hour, that features Blake Aaron, and it was just it hit number 5 so far on Billboard Smooth Jazz, which is really exciting for me. This was my first single that's hit the Billboard chart back before I think Christmas, around the middle of December. It debuted on there, I think, at number 27, and that was really exciting for me. Like, this is so cool. It's on Billboard, and then since then it's just gone right up the charts. I mean, I've been really excited about that, and it's been pretty cool.
Very cool. Yeah, and Aaron Blake is a very good musician as well. Known a lot of his great music.
He's awesome. I've known his music for a while, and a couple years back, Adam Leibowitz, my radio promoter, introduced me to him at the NAMM show in California, and so I went out there and met Blake, and just thought it'd be a really kind of neat idea to kind of work with Blake, and we've worked on a couple tracks together, and yeah, I mean, he's just a phenomenal guitarist, producer, musician. I mean, he's great, and on my last single, he just sounded great on it too. I couldn't be happier that he was on it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, you actually don't you do like production work as well, on the side of what you do? Your main instrument and everything.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the track I'll be working on, but I'll do some elements of the production, and then I might work with some other musicians, like in this case, the last tune Blake, and we'll kind of share some ideas, and it's sometimes a collaborative effort. Everybody kind of has their contribution, and
Yes.
when you put different minds together, you can get really great results that way, and
Absolutely.
so that's kind of been the workflow, the process.
Mm-hmm. Very nice.
So what about, I heard you mention Nam. Do you think, well, we're in end of January. There's not going to be one this year, right? In Anaheim or anywhere?
No. Well, I think they're doing some virtual sessions, but yeah, unfortunately, I was really sad this year. I was looking forward to going, and it was it's too bad. I think it'd normally be this weekend. I think either this weekend or the past weekend. It'd be right around this time of year. But yeah, they had to cancel everything. So I think there's a summer one. I haven't been to the summer one in Nashville. I don't know if that's going to be still happening, or or if we just have to wait till next January.
Yeah.
Hopefully by then we'll be ready to go.
Hopefully.
Yeah, every year I said, oh, I'll go next year, and I'll get an email from Selmer saying, let us know who's coming. I should have gone last year. I still haven't been. So every time I hear people mention it and the great things that happen to them, there I go. I miss some opportunities.
It's pretty amazing. I mean, it's just all the musicians out there, and just great connections, and just you're surrounded by the latest and greatest of everything, all the music equipment out there, but just musicians, and not to mention the fact that me being a New Englander here too, going out to California in January when it's 70, 80 degrees out there, that can be a nice break too. So.
Oh yeah.
Right. From the snow.
Yes. Yes.
Do you find that the deals are great with the booths, the different vendors that are there? Do they offer better deals than they would if you would buy from retail stores?
I think there's some, but I think for me, what I've seen mostly is just like it introduces me to all sorts of things that I might not be aware of. They have a room of pianos with these brands of piano. Not that I'm buying full grand pianos these days, but you can try all these different brands that maybe you've never even heard of, and it's great to see all the different new products and all the innovation there too. So, with the same with keyboards and synthesizers, I get to see the latest and greatest. So yeah, it's pretty nice.
While you was out there,
Sean, when you were there at NAMM, did they have the keyboard that was in a circle? That you had to be in the middle? They still had that one? Okay, because I saw somebody, one of the other musicians that I'm connected to on Facebook, was standing in the middle, and he was playing, and it was so cool to see that. I was wondering if they still had it, if you got to see that.
Yeah, no, they did have it last year. I don't remember if I tried it out. I think I was watching somebody try it out, but I remember them saying it's like, I don't think you can just go online and buy one, but I think they, cost about $20,000 or something. Wow. So I'll be.
Well, did you get any endorsements?
What did you say? Sorry.
Did you get any endorsements?
No endorsements right now, but hopefully next time I go out there too, on Billboard, and I mean, it's been pretty cool. A lot has happened in the last year too, so it's been a whole lot of changes for me. So
sure, absolutely. When was your first time your hands came acquainted to the keys?
I was 9 years old, I think. Yeah, I was about 9 years old. So, my older sisters played. They're 4 or 5 years older than I am, so they played some instruments, and my dad played a little bit of the piano. So all of that kind of got me introduced to the keyboard. But I started taking lessons when I was 9 years old. I was in 4th grade, and yeah, from there I just kind of started playing a lot, and I was kind of a mixture of practicing styles for me, because there was part of it where I'd be, reading sheet music and playing music and learning the notes, and then there was the other part where, I would hear some tunes and just try to, play some stuff by. Once I started to understand chords and harmonies enough, I'd start to come up with some ideas and be able to kind of hear the tunes and start playing them on the piano. So I was kind of like I got a mixture of learning experiences.
That's cool.
Yeah. Reading and playing by ear, right? Reading music and playing by ear.
Yeah, and I've always I've always been fortunate in that sense to be able to both read music and play by ear, because I mean, reading music has gotten me a lot of gigs and stuff, especially I'm a music teacher, so doing that, reading music has been huge. I can accompany a chorus, for example, and I can do different things like that. But I think really listening to the music and being able to just hear things and be able to hear that and then translate it to the piano has helped with my songwriting and that kind of thing. So yeah, it's been good.
That's awesome.
I have one more question going back to NAMM. When you were there, were you able to meet, or who did you meet that were like you were trying to? It was like that's one of your favorite musicians or artists.
Yeah, so I've met a lot of people out there now, which has been pretty cool. One of the this was actually by coincidence, I just happened to run into him, but one of the coolest people I met out there was I ran into Brian Culbertson, so that was pretty cool.
Very nice.
He was looking at some keyboards. I remember that day, and I happened to just introduce myself to him. But that was. But yeah, I mean, I met a lot of the Intervision artists that Adam Leibowitz works with, and like Blake Aaron, Blair Bryant, Will Donato. I met last year. I met Steve Oliver. I met Darren Ron.
Okay, yeah.
I saw Mindy here last year. That was pretty cool. I saw her at a concert back when I was like 13. Mindy A. Bear.
Oh, Mindy. Yeah, she's
Mindy.
awesome.
She's awesome, and it's funny because I met her, and I got to meet her like way back when I was like 14 years old or something after a concert, and I got her autograph and stuff. But I got to see her at the NAMM show last year, so that was pretty cool. So yeah, I mean it's just an amazing place because you never know who you're gonna see just walking around the floor there, and then I can meet different people at some of the different events they're having, like at night after the show's over. And I've met some great musicians. I know you had Rob Malatic on the show last week.
Yes,
I met him a couple of years back with Rob Zinn. So
Rob
so that's
too.
very cool. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, because I've known Will a little bit longer, or about the same length of time as Blake. So I've known those two guys for quite some time.
Yeah.
And I've also met Steve Oliver before as well.
Yeah, they're all amazing people, musicians. It's a great group of people.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I have one question. Have you ever had a desire to leave Connecticut?
Have I ever had a desire to leave Connecticut?
Yeah.
He remembered the question.
Oh,
What?
that's what you were saying before. Okay.
Yes, I remembered. Usually he was like, well, I forgot.
Well, I didn't forget.
I'm surprised.
That's
That's
a good
why it's
question.
cloudy outside.
Okay, Chris.
So actually, I just technically moved to Connecticut like last year, so I don't know, but I'm on the Massachusetts border, so they're all close by. I don't know. I mean, I have my family around here and stuff, and there's actually a lot of lot of support for this kind of music out in this region. There's a lot of radio stations out there that play contemporary jazz, and but you know, I always leave my options open. I love other areas too. You know, California is a great place, and you know, it's great out there. But right now, I'm here and liking it, and so who knows?
Sound like you're gonna be at home.
I know you started playing at 9, and
Yeah.
You left high school. Did you go to college? Did you major in music, or just tell us what happened after that?
Yeah, so I majored in. I went to college. I went to a state university right down the street from where I live, and I went for music education. So it was really good for me because I got to learn about teaching music, and I also, you know, it was a little bit like you're not just learning how to teach music, but you also feel like a performance major a little bit at the same time. So, you know, I did a lot of practicing on piano and just got to be in all sorts of different ensembles. But I was also doing the education stuff as well. So it kind of was just a mixture of everything. And that worked out well. You know, it kept everything, kept options open, you know, which was nice.
So, what about the horn section behind you? You got a couple of horns.
I was about to say that. You know, he got that from me.
Oh, I was gonna get it in.
Also for the so I play a little. Well, I've touched all the instruments, but I'm no expert on all of those instruments. Trumpet, I've actually played since 4th grade. There's a trumpet back there. That's my trumpet back there, and I've played that. I started playing that about the same time I played piano, but I just, you know, I had like braces on and all sorts of things like that. I was just never consistent about like the practicing with that. And you know, an instrument like the trumpet is a very you know, you have to really maintain yourself on that instrument. You know, you don't play it for a few weeks and you feel it. And you know, for piano for me, I always just was able to stick with it and power through. And with some of the other instruments, I just, you know, I played trumpet in college a little bit, like in the wind ensemble they had. And the other instruments, you know, I teach music, so, you know, you want to know the basics about them, but you're not going to see me on stage playing some of those.
And what age? I'm sorry. What age do you teach?
I teach. Oh, sorry. Say that again. That was,
age, the age level.
Oh, age. Yeah, 9. I teach grades 9 through 12. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've been doing that for like 8 years, and it's been great. It's a very rewarding job, especially at the high school level too. You know, because you have already some musicians who are starting to develop their skills, and it can be really rewarding, especially when you see somebody go from like grade 9 to 12, and you see how far they've progressed in that time.
Absolutely, that's wonderful, man.
Yeah.
So you're teaching and you're composing, and how many CDs have you released or singles today?
I think about, I want to say 8 singles. I have an EP out that has 5 tracks on them. I think 3 of those on there were singles, and actually maybe 4. Maybe we did. I don't know. It was 3 or 4. It was a lot of tunes on that Electrify EP that we started with the singles, and then I've been working some singles since then, and soon we'll have a full album, and I'm excited for that. Hoping this year we'll get the full album together.
Well, it sounds like you're gonna have time because it's pandemic, right?
Yeah. Funny. Well, no, it's funny you mention that, because one of my first or my single from last year, I guess it's still going on this year, but Magic Hour, I wrote that like at the beginning of March last year. That was right after everything started, you know, because we found out where I was working, we found out that at first school was going to be closed for 2 weeks, and of course nobody knew that it was going to go on a lot longer than that at the time. But I remember, I think that first week of when the pandemic really started and everybody's kind of like working from home, that was when I wrote Magic Hour, or at least I wrote part of the tune, and then I called up Blake, and he did some of the production and started doing that stuff. But yeah, that was when it all started. So yeah, it was nice to have some extra time.
Well, that's
On Magic Hour. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Gary.
Oh well, no, I was just gonna say that's a perfect segue to let our listeners check out that particular track and everything. And like I said, you worked with Blake, Mr. Blake. Is it Aaron Blake or Blake Aaron?
Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron.
Blake Aaron.
Blake Aaron.
Blake
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
They're both common names, aren't they? For first.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but in working with him, you said you knew him a little while and everything. What was your what made you your choice wise? I mean, what came up to where you guys actually came together on this particular track?
Yeah, well, I think yeah, it's kind of well, I guess it's a little complicated, but what happened was that I've been working now most of my singles with my radio promoter, Adam Leibowitz, and Adam works with Blake, and I was talking, I remember, to Adam one day about maybe some options for working with some different producers, and Adam was, you should maybe you should try working with Blake. So on one of my other tunes from 2019, Sunburst, that was the first single that I worked with Blake on, and he produced the track, and but he wasn't a featured artist on it, and I love Blake's guitar sound. I think he's got his own, he's a fantastic musician. So
yeah.
But when we did our second track together, which was Magic Hour, he's like, okay, well, the Sunburst had some, it was more like piano and sax on it, so let's try some piano and guitar. And so he played on that one, and that's kind of how that happened, with him playing guitar on it.
Wow, very cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very cool. Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and go into it, and I'll probably pick something else to play off of that collection that you gave us, and then once we come back, you can tell us about it as well. So,
Sure.
So for all of our listeners, if you just tuned in, we are talking to Sean Yu. He's our special guest today. We're very excited about having him on the show today. He has wonderful music, and you're going to get to hear some more great music from him right now from our guest. So keep it locked right here on the Indie Live Spot, and we'll be right back. today. Sean Yu in the house. And that was Sunburst that you just got through hearing. And then right before that, you also heard Magic Hour featuring Blake Aaron, which is the hot single that's going on right now. And yeah, Sean, great job, man. Great.
Yeah, much.
You've been getting a lot of compliments in the chat room as well,
Mm-hmm.
on the track that they've heard so far. And there's one musician, a guitar player, Westbound. He says, "Wow, nice piano chops, Mr. Culberson. Watch out." And then he puts in parentheses,
Westbound.
"Just
Yeah.
that was good."
It is good.
Yeah, but everybody in the chat room is loving your music.
Well, that's awesome. And thank you everybody out there for listening and tuning in today. It's always great when I can share my music with people and you get to interact with fans and everything. It's really cool. So thank you folks out there. And I'll see, I have the chat over here on my right, but I'm like looking more this way, so maybe I can I'll try to do two at once. We'll see what happens.
And trust me. I was wondering because before we went off the air, I think those two tracks, Magic Hour, I was about to ask you, what's the story behind that title, Magic Hour?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm glad you asked that question.
Mhm.
I was reading a book one day. I think it was around the time when the pandemic started, which was around the time when I wrote this tune, and I just came across Magic Hour, and I'm like, oh, that's like it mentioned Magic Hour in the book. It was just talking about like a scene in the book, and they were saying, oh, it's Magic Hour now, and I'm like, oh, that kind of sounds cool.
Mhm.
And but then I had to kind of do my research. What is Magic Hour? So Magic Hour is the hour right after sunset, or the hour right before sunrise. So it's actually the sun is already set during Magic Hour, which I just think is cool. So it's like all the colors you get in the sky and stuff right after the sun sets. Because then I started like doing all this research. I'm like, well, what's going on here? There's golden hour, where that's like the hour before sunset, but Magic Hour is the hour after sunset. I just thought it was a really cool title, and ultimately after when I was putting together this tune, I said, well, I just wanted something really positive, something that's going to be, we need some positive music, and with everything that's going on, so I thought the title just kind of fit the tune pretty well. So that's it was kind of a coincidence how it all worked together, but it all came together pretty nicely.
That's cool. That's cool.
And what about Sunburst? How did that come out? I mean, how did that come to be?
Sunburst the title from Sunburst actually was from a drummer I play with locally here in Connecticut. He thought of the title, and I'm like, that's a really good title. It just, again, it like fits the song. It's really nice when you can come up with a title that just really fits the music, and it's tough to do with instrumental music when there's not necessarily lyrics or words with it. It can be really tough to like figure out what title you think is gonna, match the tune. And certainly anybody can have their thoughts on what they feel or what they think when they hear a tune, but I have to say those are my two probably favorite titles for my tunes, and I think they just both, at least in my opinion, they both fit the sound of the track. But you can all let me know what you think and see if you agree or not.
So, yeah.
That is cool.
It fits. I was just wondering what inspired the title Sunburst.
Right.
Since you explained Magic Hour, how you got into that one and how that came to be. I was like wondering when you were explaining that, I was like, well, I wonder how you got Sunburst. Was something that just either that you saw, like a painting or a photo, or that you actually saw something that reminded you of a sunburst, or?
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, it was my drummer who came up with that title. He's like, oh, what about Sunburst? And I'm like, okay, sure. I think it's great.
Works.
It's kind of funny because in my artwork for some of my tunes, the sun was shining pretty brightly in some of the photos actually. So it all worked together. I don't know. It didn't happen just, it was none of that was intentional. I don't think it all just kind of worked together.
Happened.
Coincidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a comment. Sorry, Joyce. There's a comment in the chat room from Castella. She's loving the ambience behind you. You want to tell the audience about that?
Yeah. It's cool. I got that right at the beginning of when all this pandemic started. I reworked my room up here, and I figured I was going to be spending a lot of time in this room, so I needed to make it nice. So yeah, the light was pretty cool. I saw them like advertising those lights online. I'm like, that could look really cool in this room, and then I got it. I liked it even better than I thought I would. It's pretty cool. Yeah, and you can design things any way you want. They're just like these little triangular panels, and
wow.
You can expand them to as many panels as you want. So right now, it's basically the eighth note. But if you wanted to buy more panels, you could make it the stemmed eighth note with the 2 eighth notes. Maybe someday I'll expand.
You get another eighth note.
You can never have enough eighth notes.
It's really cool. I like that.
Mac, is that you snapping something at your desk?
That's Ray.
Ray smacking. Oh my God.
No.
There's something.
Just coming from Ray. It's clicking on something.
I ain't clicking on anything. I'm just sitting there listening.
No, you're doing something because now it stopped when we called your name.
Because it wasn't Sean. He hasn't been making any, because he's moving his hand. You've got something in your hand, Ray.
Something. Just letting you know we can hear it.
So it called you out. It called you out.
Go ahead, Gary. Sorry.
No.
I think you're.
Oh, Ninja said it's the mouse click. His mouse click isn't that loud.
There you go.
Here we go. Speaking is a chair, Henry, not the mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, we were talking about the artists that played with you on those tracks, and I think you mentioned that Blake played on which
Magic
one?
Hour. Magic Hour.
It was Magic Hour. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he also is guitar on Sunburst too. He was featured on Magic Hour, so you get to hear a lot of them on there. But he's playing rhythm guitar even on Sunburst too.
Mm-hmm.
And the saxophone player, who was that?
Yeah, Mike Parlett. So he's out of California too, and works a lot with I think Blake, and he has his own recording studio out in California too. So the drums, Tony Moore played the drums on Sunburst and Magic Hour, and the drums were recorded in Mike's studio as well. So Mike plays sax, but he does a lot of really great work with recording too.
Yeah, he does. I've heard some great stuff with both gentlemen. In fact, the first time that I actually came familiar with both of those guys, they used to work with a guy out of the UK. Trying to think of his name. James. He had his twin. Help me, Grizz.
Oh, I know.
Cola. Yeah.
Cola?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
He's a triplet. Yeah,
Right.
When you say
Or triplet. Yeah, not twins.
Yeah,
Triplets.
okay.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. But
yeah, James Cola.
yeah, but that's where I remember Parley and
Blake.
behind both Blake and then back in the day a little bit. So anyhow, but that's great, man.
Yeah.
What else you got going on? Well, until I know, because everybody's limited what they can do right now because of the pandemic and stuff. But I mean, like some of the shows that you did have scheduled, did your people reschedule those for another date to see if that date come to view? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, well,
I know
I was going to be playing at the Brass City Fest, which is in here locally in Waterbury, Connecticut. It's going to be doing that last year. I played in 2019 on that one with Paula Atherton, Althea Renee, Jeanette Harris, and I think I'm trying to remember who was going to be playing at that this past year, but I don't know if you know Al Taylor, but he's a local Connecticut person, but has his own radio show, and he's great because he's been putting on that festival the last few years, and so we'll see. It was supposed to be June of this end of June last year. Hopefully it'll be hoping it's going to be up and running by the time we get to June and July this year.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, just kind of have to play it by ear. I mean, I guess the way things going, but I know a lot of people has gotten creative too, where they're doing shows, and setting them up for pay-per-view, and then people can watch from home. I've seen that. A lot of that's going on now. So. Yeah. Hopefully, something to think about. I did a live stream back a while ago, but I mean, it's tough. I'm teaching and all that stuff, so it kind of balance the equation. But hopefully, who knows? Maybe we'll see. Maybe people want a live performance. Maybe we can figure out a way to do something online. So we'll see.
I think now is the time to be creative, and I'm talking to some people right now about pay-per-view and venues, and I hope it comes to pass. I hope it happens. Right. But we have to be creative, even in your personal life, because I posted how in my neighborhood, not far from where we live, there's a Sonic drive-in. So my husband and I, we haven't been to theaters since it happened. Just stay away from it. So we put a big tablet on the dashboard, turned on the movie, Bluetooth it, ordered from Sonic drive-thru, and we sat there and watched the movie and ate. And we watched the entire movie. But it wasn't, and I thought about it. Wouldn't it be nice? I know they're doing that already, but if Sonic were set up in a way that you could do a concert and people could just stay, and you could hear the volume inside your car. And it's just something that came to mind and that's what I mean when I say we have to be creative. Sure. I know that they've done it where it's like a drive-in theater and they're on a big stage and you stay in your car. But wouldn't it be nice if somehow you could connect Bluetooth? Is that, I'm not a techie person, but since there's been so much creativity now that you could hear it inside your car as well, and stay in your car, but you could still see the artists on stage. And it doesn't have to be a big, huge concert. It could be something even more intimate. These huge parking lots that are never filled, they could rent out for these type of events.
Sure.
Right? Like big malls, with huge parking lots, let's get creative. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a cool idea. I do hope that, we'll just be back in normal in person, hopefully in 4 or 5 months. I don't know. We'll see. That's all we can hope for.
Yeah.
We're afraid to hope right now because we were at that point last year. I had just come back from Colorado in February. It was the end of February. And everything's just started shutting down. Oh, it's going to be a three months, and look at us now. So we don't know, but keep hope alive. Why not hope?
I think it's just a matter of hopefully, now that the vaccines are out now, it's just a matter of getting them things out and getting people vaccinated, and to kind of see how this thing is going to affect folks, because if we can get past that, I mean, gosh, then things will get. I think things will get to a point where everybody can kind of get back out again and do some things. But
well, I'm just gonna wait and see how it's gonna affect somebody, other people. A friend of mine just took it the other day. I'm gonna see if he takes the second dose. I'm gonna see what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Then I might go and take it. I'm not in a hurry.
All you're gonna do is just squeak in your chair.
Yeah.
But we make fun of his chair all the time because it squeaks. Actually, it's toned down a lot. It would be so bad we couldn't even hear you speak, and we gave him a hard time.
Well, even mine is squeaking a little bit. I'm like, yeah, just don't lean back too much.
Well,
They all.
John, there's nothing you can do about it, is it? Not a thing you can do about
It's
it.
a little bit more than normal because mine does too. I can't get to do it right now, but yours, it sets off some vibes that we have to.
It's like a sonic boom.
I'm not gonna buy another chair because this is sweet. If you spend the money on a new one, it might do the same thing. I'm tired of spending my money on chairs.
Gotta be easy on them chairs, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I think we ought to go into another selection. Yeah, and so
Me down.
in fact, could you tell us a little bit about what's the XLR8?
Right.
Explain that
So
to us.
that accelerate and
See, that
There you
shows you how weak I am when it comes to.
I was originally spelled the tune out accelerate, like it was actually going to be spelled out.
Okay.
And then you can credit Adam, my promoter, for that XLR8. He's like, well, what if you took it and sort of made this cool spelling XLR8? I'm like, huh,
Interesting.
that's an interesting idea.
That is interesting.
So I went with that, and now it's XLR8, but it's accelerate. So
I like that.
Gary.
Thank you, Adam.
Gary was really trying to be very philosophical with this XLR. I thought it was a chord. I mean, okay, XLR.
I think it's thrown a few people off.
Yeah.
After you blew it.
But we won't forget it. I think you're
Well,
going with. We won't forget it.
That's
We
right.
won't.
Yeah, and so the track. Go ahead and talk to us a little bit about the track. I mean, other than how it came together for you.
Yeah, so that one was that one I kind of that one's older now. It's but I made it, and I pretty much put all the tracks together and then layered drums and bass on from a local bass player, Steve Clark. He's a fantastic bass player, but he plays a lot.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Oh, okay, yeah, he's fantastic, and I've played a bunch of gigs with him now, and so I had him play bass on that. And Dexter Petaway is the name of the drummer, and so that was all kind of done locally. I did a lot of the tracks, at my house, and then in my studio, and then I took it into a local studio for some of the mixing, and like the drums and bass were overdubbed. So it was a cool track. I really like that. It has a lot of energy in it, and it's a fun track.
Very
And
nice.
before we go into the track real quick, Gary, before I forget,
Yeah.
because I'm going to be like, I'm going to forget this question.
Okay.
Sean, do your students know that you're a recording artist as well?
I think most of them do. I mean, there might be a few who don't, but I'll talk about it, a little bit here and there, and so yeah, most of them.
Has any student seen you in concert, like when you're doing it like an open venue kind of thing, like a festival or anything? Have they seen you?
I've had some students show up, which is pretty cool.
Cool.
Usually like local when I'm doing very local shows and stuff, but yeah, I've definitely have had some students show up, and it is very cool, because
Awesome.
if I can find another way to inspire students, and sometimes you get so caught up with the teaching part of it
Right.
that
Right.
at the end of the day, it's also just about like other people hearing what other musicians are playing and what they're doing. So I
Right.
sometimes have to
And just
take.
having fun.
Yeah, exactly. And you need people to just see that.
Yeah.
Right.
See you
I
right there in your
not only
element.
can I teach, but I can do as well.
Mhm. That's awesome. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and let our viewers hear some more music, and then we'll come right back right here on the Indie Live spot. So y'all keep it locked right here, and we'll be right back. right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and you just got to hear some more awesome music from Sean Yu, and yeah, that was nice. What you just got through hearing was, excuse me, Brighter Sky, and then right before that, Accelerate. I'll do it right this time.
All right, yes.
Got it.
Good answer. Good answer.
Yes, but very nice. Everything we heard today, Sean, it's just awesome, man.
Oh, thanks so much.
Very, really, really, really is. And
Okay.
yeah, go ahead, Joyce.
No, I was just looking at the chat, and Henry Mixon said clavicles with question marks. And the only clavicle I know is the one over here, so I'm not sure what he means. I think then he said clavs and bass. Phew. So I would imagine that's something to do with your music.
Yeah. There's some clav sounds in the in Accelerate, and it's really just kind of fast and funky, and it's kind of working with the bass and stuff. So I think that's what he's talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we talk about this because Gary, Gris mentioned earlier that Gary was smooth, and he just has some amazing smooth jazz music from way back. And then he starts getting funky. Then he's blending with, it's almost fusion what he's doing. And I love that because I tell people I'm not all smooth. I didn't grow up with just smooth, but I love it though. Because I love R&B, I love funk. So sometimes I have to go and blend a little something else in there, if you know what I mean. So I love to do that. That's my point. You do something different.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, I like calling it, smooth can be a tough term because, it's like,
Yes.
well, am I gonna fall asleep to this? I think if you listen to a lot of my stuff, I'm hoping you don't fall asleep.
Right.
And if it helps somebody fall asleep, go ahead. But
That's not actually a bad thing, because you need something to relax.
yeah. But it's like I want some, if you're gonna go to a concert or something, you want to be up on your feet and dancing, moving, and so
yeah.
So yeah, I think the track that Accelerate track is a pretty high energy track. But yeah, I like calling it like contemporary jazz or I guess you can come up with different things to call it, but not all just smooth,
Yeah, it's a tough one, and I've said that often. Like, you can't be the track could be just an amazing track, amazing song, but you don't want to just at a live concert. And I tend to, and I've talked to other artists do the same. Even though their track is at one tempo on their CD, they may increase the tempo just a little bit on the stage to create more energies. Whatever works on the stage. And
I think sometimes it depends whether you're playing it to a track or not, but like even just the excitement of being on the stage, it's like the drummer can start grooving a little faster, or I think a lot of it too is just the improvised nature. I mean, when you look at the roots of jazz music, jazz music is all about improvisation, and a lot of the smooth jazz records out there right now, you're not necessarily hearing a lot of improvisation on the record. You might hear, the format usually is the last maybe 30 seconds of the song or so, sort of during the fade out. That's really when a lot of the excitement's happening. And I think when you're playing a live show, that's when you really want to like just, that's your time to, show what you can do on the instrument. And that's when it can be really exciting is, after you play the main verses and choruses and everything, and you just kind of, it can become a jam session at the end of it.
Yeah.
And that's where the excitement happens.
Exactly. Yeah, get me to the main part and then just jam.
Sean, have you ever thought about doing some improvisation with the jazz?
Some improvisation with the jazz. I mean, I think if you hear me live, you'll hear a lot more of that.
Okay.
I mean, I do some solos at the end of my tunes and stuff, but certainly like, when you see me live, you'll be like, we'll extend things. We're not gonna, stay at the 4-minute long format or anything like that. I'm all into just like, letting the musicians play, So if you got a guitar player on the stage, a sax player, you let them go off, do their thing, That's what it's all about when you see it live.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You're true enough on that.
Yeah, that's when you do your 4 and 4 and go back and forth and walk off the stage and entertain. But I hear both. It depends on the art. I think it's really left up to the artist what they're feeling. If they don't want any improv on their song, that's cool too. And some of them have it, and some of them don't. I think that the creativity is limited, but not limited in what you can do. I think that's why I like fusion, jazz fusion, because there's a lot of eccentric, eclectic things going on in there, and that's why oh gosh, that was years ago. I was very young. Might have been in the 70s when I heard, what you guys, what's the name of that fusion group? I can't remember. It just left my head. I had it.
Well, Yellow Jackets, Weather Report.
Yellow Jackets is Weather Report. Yeah, Yellow Jackets is one too. But Weather Report is the one I heard. And I remember thinking, oh, they're so outside the box that I thought it was really cool. So now I like both. I like a folk song with just 1-4-5-1 with a simple melody that touches every heart in the room, up to a fusion song by Weather Report or Yellow Jackets. I can do both, I guess is what I'm saying. I like the variety. So.
Let me ask you this, Sean. Have you thought about doing a live recording and put it on CD, on the record?
I haven't thought about it yet. It's a great idea. I think I think someday I'll do that. Probably do some more recordings first. But yeah, I mean that'd be kind of cool. I need the right time, venue, place for that. I think to get that.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah. I mean it's because you're absolutely right. It captures the. It's an interesting thing because you get caught up in sort of the production of the tune, and smooth jazz has its, I don't know if you want to call it a sound, but it's a format, and you certain, you got to keep within a certain time frame, and then I start playing solos on some of my tracks, but just with the production nature of the tune and stuff, you can start then you start refining the solo you just played, and it becomes more of a, you play it solo, but it actually becomes more of a composition because you keep going in the studio and playing something over and over and over again to kind of tweak your idea until it becomes just the best thing. But there's just, it's not the same as that spontaneous sort of, anything happens and you just kind of run with it.
Yeah.
Like rock music. That's how some are written. They just show up in the studio, just start rocking it out. But some really good stuff came out of that. Yeah. It's
a different thing, the production versus the live playing. That's really why. And I like both. I mean, I like really. Some people don't like the really produced music, and I mean, there's everybody sort of has their own like listening preferences. But I really like when you just put together the sounds just right and you make something just sound perfect. But then I also like it where you see that artist play a live show and you're not going to get exactly the same thing,
right?
I've been part of shows or seen shows where the musician might be using a track, for example, with the same exact sounds and sort of the same outline of the song that is on their CD recording, but I want to when I play something, I want to give that listener something different. I mean, because I say to myself, well, you can go buy the CD, you can download the music. I don't want you to come to a show and, I want you to, recognize the tracks and know what we're playing and know the tune. But I want to give you something a little different, something.
Give you a show.
Yeah, you want to give them a show, with the
Thank you,
with
Gary.
the live instrumentation, Yeah, that's what you want to do. Yeah,
It can be so much energy on stage with the musicians and
no
free
doubt.
on stage, and it's such a huge thing.
Yeah, no doubt.
One of my cousins, she would get so upset when she'd go see, especially it was a rock concert, and she goes, "Why do they change the music?" Because she wanted to hear it exactly the way it is on the record or the CD. And I looked at her and said, "Because it's live, it's a different thing. It's not studio.
Right.
When there's no audience there." So they're there. We paid for them to entertain us, so they're going to do it a little bit different. Well, no, she was like, "You can't have it your way. So shut up and just enjoy."
Just enjoy it.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
just go buy the record bin. If you
Well-
Because she had the music. She had the music. That's why she was upset, because it wasn't sounding exactly like the record. So it's not supposed to.
Right.
We're live.
Have any of your performers that you played with, have y'all done video where featuring yourself?
Yeah, I think there's some video of my playing on if you go on YouTube, and
Excuse me.
under Brass City Jazz Festival. I'm typing in right now to see if it shows up. Yeah, you can see me playing with Paula Atherton and
Althea Renee?
I think
Sure.
there's a video of that out there somewhere too. Somewhere I don't see that one showing up, but yeah, you can see me. There's another one with Marcus Anderson. But yeah, if you type in on YouTube, Sean Yu Brass City Jazz Festival, you'll see some of my you'll see my live playing. You'll see
And so
me
since we're
soloing, and you'll see Steve Clark there too. He played, he's the bass player. He played on Accelerate, and so he's playing bass at that festival. So yeah.
So
Now, have you
since
got the head of anything? Did you say you had the head?
The-
what?
The head. The solo part.
Oh.
I don't understand.
Yeah. I think the whole tune is on. Well, some of them have the whole tune.
I'm sorry, Joyce and Bliss, y'all don't understand what I was saying, but
I
I'm talking
didn't
about
say
the head.
anything.
So, I just want to make sure if you got the head, which has got the solo part or something like that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, I have one of my videos up here, 60 miles. You see the whole tune with the head, the beginning, and also but the solo part
Okay.
after. So you can kind of see all of it. Some of them are just shorter clips, but
Yeah. Well, my question
that's
was.
what I want to know.
My question was, Sean, was out of all the live performances that you done, what was the most memorable or most, I guess, exciting or whatever, or something that comes to mind that you remember most about on your performances?
yeah, I think that Brass City Jazz Fest that I was just talking about was one of them, because it was really one of my first experiences, just feeling like, I worked hard to prepare for the gig, but I just felt, I had that confidence level on stage that maybe I didn't have before,
Right.
because it's a certain level of experience. Eventually, you just do it enough, and
Sure.
to be able to play with some great musicians and to kind of develop that confidence. And yeah, there were some magical moments, like when you're playing. It was some really good stuff. I mean, I've had a lot of performances where I've been really happy with, and others that you're like, I could have probably played better, or I just wasn't at my top of game that day. But like that particular festival, that was great, and it was hot out that day in New England. I mean, that was in Connecticut. It was the beginning of July. It was almost 100 degrees outside, and the humidity was, it was Florida humidity out there that day. And I just
Wow.
had sound checks all day, and it's not like you just show up to the gig and you start playing. I mean, it was a lot of prep work before that, and it was hot that day, and but we everybody played great on the stage.
That's cool.
I was going to ask you about Steve Clark. Does he have music released?
Yeah, he does. If you I think he has an album. I think it's called Sparkle, I want to say, and yeah, he has an album out there.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, because I was just looking at the listings as far as the clips and stuff of Brass City Jazz Festival.
Yeah, I wrote it down. I'll look it up later. Brass City Jazz Festival. Okay.
Yeah, and Steve's great. I mean, he plays. He's like the bass player in the area. So when there's any smooth jazz musician coming to town, he's playing bass for them.
Yeah, I think he's one person I've heard of.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yep.
All right, back to you, Gary.
Okay. Well, I want Sean to let everybody know where they can follow him, and if you have a website and all that stuff, and just kind of where they can access your music, where they can actually buy it, and all that kind of good stuff. You do that for us.
Sure. You can find my music. One of the easiest places to go to is SeanUmusic.com. There should be links to all my social media on there, and you can find all that there. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. So yeah, it's so go to SeanUmusic.com, and you'll find all my links there.
Okay, great.
So you can find your music on Spotify and
it's Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, everywhere I think where you can find music these days. I think.
There. Cool.
But I think that with you, because I tried that earlier, Sean, everything's gonna pop up in Google search.
So SEAN. That's the other thing, because I mean my last name is Julius, but it goes by U, the letter U, but first name is SEAN, because there's like 3 different ways to spell that too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got a brother named Sean, and he spells his like SHON.
There you go. Yeah. So so it's SEAN. So SEANU music.com.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
Isn't that more like the Scottish spelling?
I think so. I'm not Irish or Scottish or anything, but it is.
That you know of, right?
It's my name, and I'm sticking to it.
I know. I spell it the way I want to.
Or in his case, the way his parents wanted to be spelled.
There you go. Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's I love when people. It's like my daughter's name is Ashley, but I've seen like 2 other spellings. But
Uh-oh.
that's the way you want to spell it. It's something happened.
You froze.
Yeah,
you froze for a little bit.
Times.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back
Yeah,
now.
you're back.
Okay.
We didn't hear the spelling of Ashley, how she spells it.
There was one that was ASHLEIGH.
I've seen that.
And I'm okay with that, So it's all good. So what's next for you, Sean? What are you working on next for 2021?
Yeah, so I'll be working on the next single will be coming out later in the spring. I mean, Magic Hour is still going really strong right now, and so I think I'm hoping it'll be out a while longer, but we'll have a new single lined up for later in the spring, and it's still not totally not sure if we're going to do a featured artist on it yet, but we'll find out. I'll find out because I don't know yet. but there's going to be a new single, probably around May. So and hopefully by that time we'll also be getting around to having the full album, hopefully by spring summer. So
Sweet.
yeah, so there should be a lot of good stuff coming out later this year.
Very
How long Magic Hour's been out totally? How long it's been out?
How long is Magic Hour? So we actually, it went out for radio ads at the very end of August, and so it's been around a while now, but it really just ramped up. A lot of the stations, like in November, just started playing it, and then it hit the Billboard chart, and it just kept kind of driving it forward. So it's been out a while.
That's great.
Yeah, because once it started hitting the billboards, it's going to be about 6 to 8 weeks, then it's going to probably start dropping off.
Yeah. No, it's definitely it's been around. So I'm hoping, we went to number 5 or number 6 this past week, but it's still going up in spins on Billboard.
Right.
Like every week, so we'll see. I don't know how high it can get. Regardless of what happens, it's been a pretty amazing run. I mean, I couldn't be happier.
You can't be no more happy than that, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's on Sirius XM radio now. It's on, which is, all these things are firsts for me. So it's pretty cool to just see my music's been taken to a new level of exposure, and that's been a pretty big deal.
It is a good deal.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a
Great
good thing.
deal.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
So how did Grizz? How did you connect with Sean?
Reached out to him on Facebook.
Okay.
But I don't remember how or why. I don't even remember how, but I just remember as far as like to why how I saw him.
Yeah, I didn't know if I didn't know for sure.
Something cool.
Right. Yeah. Only reason I was asking because I know how some of the guests would have either their manager or somebody or that referred them to come or what have you. So a lot of times we always do a shout out to them. So just wanted to make sure we wasn't missing out on anybody there.
Look, it's just all Gris this time. Good job, Gris. We'll give you a shout out.
It's like, as far as I know, I think so. I can't remember either.
Do what?
It's like, as far as I know, I think I don't remember if anyone referred Sean to me or not. I don't remember.
Oh.
And if I did, and I'm forgetting, I'm sorry, whoever it was.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm glad it all worked out. See, I'm not.
Right.
I'm glad we all met up.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
What happens, she gets referrals from different people, because even I will send her a few people. Oh, I'll ask them, send us your Gris at this email address, and tell them I referred you. So that's probably why she's trying to go, okay, how did this happen? Coming at you at all angles.
Yeah. But we're just pretty much on the wind down. We only got about 15 more minutes to hang out. But I just wanted to say, man, we really do enjoy your music and appreciate you coming to hang out with us and enjoyed your company today, man.
Yeah, no, thanks again for having me, and it's a pleasure meeting everybody here, and definitely a pleasure being able to share my music with everybody tuning into the show, and yeah, it's been great, and like I said, stay tuned for new music, because we'll be having new music coming soon, and hopefully we'll be playing in person at live performances soon.
Nice. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
That's like, yes. Your fingers crossed that happens.
Have you done any cruises as well?
No cruises.
Not yet.
Love to.
Not yet.
Yeah, I was
Not
gonna say
yet.
not yet. Yeah.
I've been on some cruises before, not the smooth jazz cruises, but I love cruises, and if I can play music and do cruises at the same time, I'm all for it.
That would be cool. Yeah.
I'll see you on the cruise then.
Right.
Definitely.
Stage.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Well, are we going to wrap it up early, Gary?
Yeah, we're gonna wrap up things because we're pretty much it's about that getting closer to that time. So I just wanted to tell again, Sean, we really enjoyed you today, and we want you to keep doing your thing, and we want you to come back as well, because everybody usually come on the show. We usually always let them know
Invite
be
you
sure
back.
invite you back, and
Back in. Yeah. Let's do it.
and we'll be watching out for you, watching things, and hopefully, like you said, I hope things start opening up soon so people can get out and do their thing, because we all miss that. It's not the same when you can be there in person, versus watching someone on the screen. It's just, it's still great to watch, performance on screen and everything. Don't get me wrong on that, but like I said, it's just a whole
It's still
nother.
more of a.
Yeah,
It's still different when you're actually there.
Right.
In person.
Absolutely.
And it's that way for the artists, too. We like the
You can
artists.
actually literally feel the music when you're there. You feel it.
Yes, indeed.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, and is there anything that you would like to say to anybody out there that may be tuned in today that I don't know, people you might want to shout out? I don't know.
Thank you to all the listeners out there. You've all been great. I've been seeing some of the comments here, and thank you for all your support. And again, it means a lot, because it's one thing to put your music out there and have it out there, but to see how people are interacting with the music and responding to it, it's makes you feel pretty good, and that's there's nothing better than that. So so that's great. So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in today, listening, and checking out my music. And again, stay tuned, because there'll be more to come.
Awesome. All right. Well, again, everybody, thanks for tuning in. And yes, we are going to wrap things up right now. And so I just want everybody to have a great weekend. Be safe. Please wear your mask, because we're not nowhere near out of this yet. Things are going on, and we hope to get things to a point, like I said, where we can all be out in public and enjoy the finer things. Some of the stuff that we take for granted. It's just crazy. Was that Ray's chair again?
Ray's chair.
Ray's chair's speaking again. So we're gonna have to give your chair a vaccine as well, because
Yeah, that's right. Like Carmen said, was your chair getting the vaccine? Oh, and then David McLaurin said that you were giving him a headache.
I don't know.
I saw that.
funny.
I don't know.
If we interrupt you, sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm just closing out. But like I said, I want everybody to have a great weekend, and we'll see you here next time. Next week, I guess Griz's going to actually tell us what we have in store for next week. But I'll pass it over to Ray and Joyce and Grizz to take us out.
Well, it's our pleasure to have you on the show today, Sean, and the music was enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
And besides me in this chair. But yeah, man, it's been a pleasure. So see you later. Bye.
All right, take care.
All right.
And Mac, you need 2 doses, but anyway. Yes, Sean, I really love your music. You're doing great. Congratulations on climbing up the Billboard. That is just really awesome. I wish the best for you. And thank you by the chat room for showing up again and again. And thanks for inviting other people. And Gary has created a wonderful platform to promote indie artists, no matter what level they're on. And so we appreciate you pulling in more people so we can support this music. I also want to give a shout out to Colleen. I'm really grateful that you're here today. We appreciate you. We love you so much, especially what you are going through right now.
Absolutely.
And
so please, everybody, keep Colleen
In your thoughts and prayers.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
And please keep her, lifted up.
Mm-hmm.
You have been lifting us up, not just this station. When I said us, the music.
Yes.
You have groups that you
artists.
watch, support. Yeah, you support my music, many other artists,
Mm-hmm.
and we're so grateful. And even during a time when you're going through so much, that you were here today is really. I don't want to cry here, but thank you.
Yes, Carlene, we really appreciate you and love you.
We appreciate you, Carlene.
Mhm.
Yeah, love you, Colleen. All right, we'll see you guys next week, and to Gris.
Okay, basically what Joyce said. Thank you everyone for being here, and Colleen, because I wasn't sure if you're going to be here or not. But
Right.
thank you for being here, and I'm glad that you showed up and that you were listening and enjoying the show. Because that's a rough thing that you're going through right now. So my heart goes out to you, my prayers and all for you and your family. Because I don't want to get crying either, because I'm getting a little verklempt. So anyway, I don't have anyone lined up yet, because I had reached out to someone, they haven't responded. So hopefully we'll still get this person. Maybe I'll get someone else. Don't know yet. Just keep an eye out when the promos come out for next week.
Yeah.
So, but tune in. It's still gonna, whether we have someone or not, it's gonna be a great show. We always have fun. And like when David McLaurin, aka Ninja, said Papa Smurf has spoken. So you never know what comes out of his mouth. So tune in next week. invite more people, please, 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 to enjoy this platform that Gary has created, and it's an amazing platform that other people are trying to copy now. So just to let you know that Gary started it first.
Before the pandemic.
Before the pandemic, even way before that. Anyway, love you guys to death. Be careful, be safe out there. Have a great weekend. Ciao.
Okay, everybody, have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
Ciao.
listening to GHP Radio, powered by iTrackRadio.com, your independent music source. Fresh, new music, right here on the all-new GHP Radio, your new independent music source.